Hey there, welcome to this video. Luke here with you from Flukes Kitesurfing, and in this video tutorial we're going to discuss doing backhand turns while you're kitesurfing. So this video is really tailored to people that have already been trying to do backhand turns and really just improving the technique into a more surf style top to bottom approach. So we'll go through a quick overview and then we'll break it down into some of the key points. For this example, and some of the funnest and easiest kiting to do is in cross-shore wind conditions on the wave. So we're coming in on a swell, starting at the top of the wave. I like to go down the face of the wave, generate speed by diving the kite down. That will pull you down the face with a lot of speed. At the same time, lean against to add a little bit of line tension on the kite. That gives you control over the kite. So you sort of lean away as you're going down the face, and then with your front hand on the bar, just lifting the kite up to higher in the sky, but never above 12. So always leading edge, always facing towards the beach. And at that moment, starting to initiate the bottom turn. As you're going through the bottom turn, the kite has lifted up to 12, you can actually switch your hands, so now your backhand becomes on the bar as you're riding through the bottom turn. That helps you pull the kite back down towards the beach as you're going through the bottom turn, and then you start to eye up the section that you want to hit. You see that section, and as you're going up the face, you get ready to pivot your body, and at the same time switch your hand onto the bar, your front hand onto the bar. This allows you to sort of rotate your body again, and then you ride straight back down the face or the foam, and you can control the kite back up into the sky with your front hand. So the key to this technique really is in how you fly the kite and at what point do you switch your hands. Switching your hands is what allows you to rotate your body, and for any good surfing or kitesurfing turn, it all starts with a good bottom turn. It's getting deep into that bottom turn that allows you and gives you the time to get vertical up into the lip on the top turn. And so this technique really hinges on being able to switch those hands and open your chest and your shoulders so you can twist more into those turns. So the timing of the kite piloting is key, so that you've got the right hand on the bar at the right time so you can steer the kite into the direction that you want. So to go through it more in depth, as you're coming down the face of the wave, you want the kite sort of pulling you. You dive the kite down so it gives you this burst of speed, and that's going to pull it towards the beach. Then you can steer the kite up slightly. It doesn't have to come all the way up to 12, it can't go past 12, but you just sort of want to move it up slightly so that when you switch hands during your bottom turn, now you can pull the kite down. If the kite's too low, when you switch hands in your bottom turn, what you'll find is you might accidentally drive it down into the water. So you sort of flick it up first, that gives you enough time to then rotate and switch hands onto your backhand and sort of now point straight back up the wave. At that time the kite is falling down into the sky. You can lean right up and get as vertical as you possibly can, and then as you complete the top turn, switch hands again. That allows you to open this hand, and sort of as you're coming back down, you're in that raw surf style, straight back down the face, and you can control the bar, bringing the kite up before it hits the water surface. At this moment, we're in the same position as we started. So you're coming down the face, the kite's low, so you can immediately flick the kite back up again, rotate again into your bottom turn, hit the next section, and then you can repeat that process. Or it might just be a one maneuver wave. Now let's talk a little bit about timing. When you're coming in for the initial, riding into the wave for the initial turn, for your first turn on the wave, I'm sort of watching the wave develop in front of me and waiting for that moment where I think, okay, there's about 3 seconds before that wave's going to break. That gives you enough time to dive the kite down, generate the speed, do the bottom turn, and then get up into that section. Now, timing of this is really key. When you start that motion, you need to go immediately into your bottom turn, top turn combo. So this isn't, you can't delay that. You can't come down the face, wait, and then try and do your bottom turn, and then you're way out in the flats. And this is opposed to a jibe. When you're jibing, you can throw the kite back and you can go way out in front, then come way back and hit the wave, and then go way out in front, and you're sort of moving the kite past 12 as you're going down the line. But with this technique, as you dive the kite down, flick it up and initiate that bottom turn, the kite is still pulling towards the beach, but at this moment when you're going through the bottom turn, you're actually going back out to face the wave. And what that means is the kite's actually going that way and you're going this way momentarily. And so that can't be a prolonged, drawn out, big motion. That needs to be straight down the face of the wave, immediately into the bottom turn and immediately into the top turn. So that all happens before the kite pulls you off center and actually pulls you towards the beach and doesn't allow you to get up into that corner of the wave. So now let's talk about maintaining line tension. If you aim at the kite going straight down the line, you'll find that you get this real slack line kite. If it's not drifting, you'll lose control over it and you won't really be able to do those turns. Something that the guys on the championship tour do really well is maintain line tension by going top to bottom. So I just want to show you what I mean. If we have the beach coming down like this and the wind's blowing cross shore down the beach, so you've got all the waves coming in like that. As you're approaching this wave and going down the face, if you have this sort of top to bottom approach like this, where you're coming back, hitting it, going back down, bottom turn, top turn, what that does is it's actually delaying the speed at which the kite drifts. So if you just head straight at it, the kite loses its line tension. But if you go like this, it sort of delays that and maintains that line tension, particularly important in light wind. And so you can think about it, if you're like, oh, I'm losing control of that kite, you sort of lean against it, so go back upwind slightly, and you can do the same thing on the bottom turn before the top turn. So think about going almost behind yourself, back up into the corner of the wave. And then when you finish the top turn, remember to lean back against it, going back upwind again, and creating that line tension. If you do that at the same time that you're flicking the kite up, letting it fall down, catching it, flicking it back up, letting it fall down, then you'll find that you can maintain that control all the way down the line. Now when it comes to the body technique and the top turns, that's really a whole other video, and that technique is something that I'm still working on personally, always trying to improve my technique. But to give just some absolute basics, when you're coming down the face of the wave and you're about to initiate that bottom turn, remember to really squat into it. So bending your knees so that you've really got control over the board and your body posture as you're going through the bottom turn, while also opening that front shoulder and bringing this hand around. So by doing that, that's really lets you dive deep into that bottom turn, and a deep bottom turn like that really sets you up for a good top turn. So actually paying attention to the bottom turn is key. It's so important in all surfing and kite surfing, and it's often overlooked because it's the top turn that's the exciting part. But by really squatting into that bottom turn, really twisting into it, you're gonna find you're gonna get better top turns. Now, once you're approaching that top turn, you sort of almost like throwing your shoulder over while you're spinning your back foot out. So the motion is you kind of like torquing your body to really hit that top section. But that said, this same kite technique, same bottom turn, it all applies no matter what type of top turn you're doing. So you might be going down the face of the wave, you start to initiate that bottom turn, and at that moment you're looking up at the corner that you want to hit, that section, and you're deciding, how is that developing? Is that a really like steep section that I want to snap? Or is that sort of a flatter banking section that you want to just do a carving turn? Or maybe it's a little end section or a floater section. And you make that decision right when you're looking up at the face of the wave as you're approaching it. So you sort of change what you're going to do at the top based on what the wave is doing. But again, you're using that same kite flying technique, that same body motion through the bottom turn, and then just adjusting that top turn technique as you approach the lip. So the final tip that I have for you, and really the main takeaway of this video, is to remember to switch your hands in that bottom turn and then switch it again in the top turn. The temptation when kiting in waves on your backhand, and I see a lot of this at the beach, is holding the kite control with your front hand and then just kind of trying to tap it, and this crossed up bottom turn, top turn kind of body posture, and so sort of tapping it down the line. Really, like I said, the main takeaway here is to switch that hands, which allows you to rotate your body, which allows you to get more vertical and do different variety of turns on the top turn. So just remember that when you're going out there, Am I switching my hands? Is that allowing me to pivot more, try and get that front hand? The temptation is to hold that front hand and keep control over the kite, but if you can remember to switch the hands, then it's going to open you up for some different top turns. Anyway, it's lots of fun backhand kiting. I love kiting waves, particularly in that cross-shore condition, or cross-cross on or cross-cross off. That's sort of the condition here that I have my most amount of fun when I'm really diving into those top turns. It's an absolute blast. So hopefully you got a couple of tips out of this video and you get out there and try it for yourself. Thanks so much for watching. Luke here again with you, and I'll see you in the next one.